It feels like someone with an invincible club is swinging it around randomly, hitting anything and everything in its path. Is Visa trying to eliminate otaku culture and subculture content rather than just adult material? It's almost like the witch hunt mentality from the US is spreading. Boy oh boy, it seems like just the other day that certain American credit card companies started cutting off payment lifelines to various Japanese anime and manga retailers. But this time, Visa's apparent crusade against Japan's otaku community had nothing to do with adult content. Instead, they targeted Otaku Konkatsu no Ayalune, a matchmaking website that helps Japanese nerds find marriage partners. Blocking a website like this is about the worst thing possible for a country that desperately needs to boost marriage and reproduction, and while dating apps like Tinder are terrible for anything but a quick roll in the mud, Ayalune is one of those matchmaking websites that prioritizes helping you find a partner with common values and interests right down to their favorite anime. So it's great for nerdy guys and nerdy gals who might struggle to find people they can relate to under everyday circumstances. Unfortunately, on December 14th, Ayalune received a notification from Visa that their credit card payments would be suspended as early as Monday, December 16th. Losing one of the big two payment providers is a big blow to any business, but this specific situation might be even scarier than what's been happening to Japanese shops selling adult anime and manga content. Because, as two Japanese internet men put it, as ridiculous as it is, adult content being regulated based on US judicial decisions kinda makes sense. But when it comes to dating websites, I just can't grasp the logic. It's genuinely scary that even perfectly legitimate businesses with no criminal elements can become targets for regulation. This is no longer about regulating freedom of expression. It's now a situation where payment processors as private profit-driven companies are controlling and dictating the actions of businesses. I mean, these guys are right to be scared, as it's getting harder and harder for businesses operating in the otaku sphere to put their trust in credit card companies that are willing to stab them in the back on a moment's notice. Of course, there could be a good reason why this is happening specifically to Ayalune. Regarding the suspension of Visa payments on the otaku matchmaking service Ayalune, some people believe that otaku content is being targeted, but it might be related to regulations on dating sites under laws aimed at preventing child exploitation. If that was the case, this would actually be a big W for Visa. Except that when I looked into this, Ayalune has a strict identity verification process in which you need to submit a driver's license, health insurance card, or residence card, as well as tax documents to even register for the site. So even though these anti-exploitation regulations are right to target websites and apps with half-assed verification procedures that let minors easily sign up for the service, it looks like Ayalune is doing what they need to do. Of course, without any official statement on what caused the issue, we're left to wonder what exactly Ayalune could have done to get themselves into Visa's crosshairs. But here's the twist. It doesn't look like they did anything, because on December 16th, Ayalune posted this update on their website. Regarding the previously announced suspension of Visa card payments, we've just received a notification from our payment processor informing us that Visa payments can continue as usual. Well, that's great news, but if the issue was so easily resolved over a single weekend, it suggests that there wasn't actually a serious problem to begin with. So why did Visa try to strangle yet another legally operating otaku-focused business? Rest in peace, Manga Library Z. Given the solutions and half-solutions some of the other anime and manga businesses that Visa targeted early this year were able to reach, what I'm personally starting to suspect is that Visa created a list of criteria for payment service suspension and plugged it into an AI or algorithm that's now scanning their client database and flagging merchants who match those criteria. Then, I hope, issuing notices without a human review. Because if a human is reviewing these cases and willfully crippling these businesses without an airtight case for suspension, then these are truly terrible people. So I want to leave you with some highlights from a statement by Taro Yamada, one of the politicians fighting against what Visa has been doing to Japanese otaku businesses over the past year. Because even though Ayalune is off the hook for now, the financial institutions we rely on just shouldn't be allowed to run slipshod over legally operating businesses, creators, and families who are just trying to get through some of the toughest years in decades. So here's what he had to say. The suddenness and unpredictability of this decision highlights significant issues beyond the subjectivity and lack of transparency often associated with credit card companies' payment suspensions or bans. It raises serious questions about the necessity, urgency, and social justification of suspending payments for legal transactions with only 2 days' notice. Credit card companies hold a dominant negotiating position over merchants. Repeated actions like this one, suspending payments for lawful transactions, can severely damage the operations of legitimate businesses while causing significant inconvenience to consumers. Unless credit card companies recognize their role as a key infrastructure for payments and reform their practices, it's only a matter of time before new laws are introduced to regulate them. For starters, I think we need to know the truth about why exactly Visa targeted Ayalune, only to reverse the decision over the weekend. Because a small victory like this just doesn't erase the alarming trend of the past year. But what do you think?